Good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, March 5, 7:20 a.m. Eastern Time. So, let's start to review, the market wrap, and then we will compare what we have in the book right now. So, volatility skews bearish. Again, back to be bearish. We saw like a delta flow negative because you close at 5,130. So is where the region that bears start to get control, and consequently the impact volatility, you pay much more premium to puts than calls, right? You guys already know how to read the graph. It's really simple. Oh, regarding the delta flow bearish, as I already explained. So 5,115 tend to be the inflection point for the downside. Since weakness started at 5,115, per gamma left in the book yesterday. So yesterday suggests 5,115 supposed to be also be the worst case, not the worst case scenario, but the viable region, right? In the worst case scenario, 5,090, and they put the minus GX at 5,100. Okay, this is what they left in the book yesterday. Regarding the order that we saw that start to print some prints in the morning, orders print at the close. So looks like that somebody sold the SPX at 5,133.40. Okay, so we need to look for the region as a possible resistance. And over here, 20 minutes before the close, dealers start to sold 5,160 call and bought 5,130 puts for tomorrow. So also market the market was at the top the time that they sold those contracts. So consequently, it looks like that a bunch of market participants is looking for a red day today. Okay, I put out the regions over here. 5,135 resistance per deltas, 5,133.40 resistance per the order. Okay, inflection point for the downside 5,115 minus GEX 5,100, in the worst case scenario 5,009. Okay, why 5,009? Because yesterday we start to see a negative gamma at 5,115. So breaking down 5,100, we have gamma only up to 5,009. That's what we had yesterday. So pay attention to the levels. So also it's good to highlight that in the last 2 weeks we have been seeing dealers bringing markets up to the negative gamma, and then big squeeze happens. This will happen this week. We don't know yet because the volatility skew now is not giving us a clue that you see a bounce or not. I also highlighted in the closed group and in the market wrap, the last one. This week is basically like a no volatility week because the implied volatility is really slow. So we could see dealers, basically collecting premium as well. Okay. I cannot affirm that 5,150 was the top. I mean 5,149. Because if you see the same pattern that you have been seeing the last 2 weeks, dealers bring market back to a negative gamma, and then you see a squeeze, a preparation to break the plus GX. The plus GX the last week was 5,120, right? I mean, before it was 50, they moved to 5,120, and you saw markets, break and back test 40, close 5,137, remember? So now the plus GX is 5,150. Of course, they moved the GX, the gamma exposure. So if they're looking for a break at 5,150, So far, we are seeing the movement that they are doing since 2 weeks ago. Okay? If you will not see a break at 5,150, I want to put one step back and I will start to be bearish. Right? I start to be bearish. Because I have been explaining, the target of SP 500, a graphic pattern that we supposed to go at least up to 5,215. That's the pivot format back in 2022 in a 3-month graph, a quarterly graph. So that's, the destination after the break of that pivot, and you already break that pivot. But according to the gamma, according the exposure in the gamma, we could see a top at 5,150. So if you will not break 5,150 this week, I start to be much more bearish. We could see like a correction before everybody expected. Okay. And I hope you guys understand, market's not going up forever. That's totally normal to see a correction. But anyway, I explain everything in this market wrap, so pay attention in those levels. So let's, bring the volatility skew to the screen. So as you can see, we don't have any clue yet if you see a bounce or not, but during the intraday, usually this change, of course, we have a lot of 0DT playing out since 2019. So they usually give you as a clue during the intraday. Yesterday, I guess I put over here as well. Here, no, this was I put in the closed group that during the intraday yesterday, they show us a possible bounce on Wednesday and a sell again back on Thursday and Friday. Okay, during the intraday yesterday, let me reinforce. The volatility skew show us a bullish smirk on Wednesday and bearish again Thursday and Friday. So maybe we could see a bounce on Wednesday. That's what showed us during the intraday yesterday. But anyway, the current volatility skew is still bearish. So we are in a negative delta because we close at 5,130. So it's where puts start to be paid. Okay, so it's totally normal to see a negative delta. So according to the volatility skew, nothing changed in the pre-market if you guys compare with the market structure document. It's almost the same. Okay, let's remove from the screen and let's bring the spreadsheet. So consequently, the delta flow is still negative, but the gamma exposure now is totally different, right? So we could consider maybe like bullish, right? Because instead of 5,150, now they move the negative gamma to 5,120. As I just said, what we have been seeing the last 2 weeks, jitters have been bringing market to a negative gamma, and then you see like a big spike up, right? Because squeezes only happen in a negative gamma, not in a positive gamma, right? Because what's the pattern of the negative gamma? I like to repeat this so you guys can memorize, like a training, not like a course. So negative gamma pattern, sell weakness by release. So as soon as you bring it back to a positive gamma, you see like a spike. Okay, but look at the gamma design, where they are moving. Of course it's changed a lot, but they move. The G. Of course they move the plus GX to 5160, was 5150. But the first level of gamma exposure that we can consider resistance 5,130. Okay, 5,130. So squeeze is supposed to be started as soon as you break up 5,130. Basically, we don't have any gamma exposure at 35 and 40. So we have in 45. Markets have been rejecting the 40 region, as you expected yesterday. I expected because the book was bullish on Friday. Market trend between 5,140 5,145. Remember? So we back test 49, but dealer decided to sell off and we closed at 5,130. Could you be a movement for a squeeze? I don't disregard that. I don't really disregard that. But so far, yesterday, we saw a rejection at 5,140 region. Why? Because a lot of people was long in that strike. Consequently, market never pay premium, right? Market always walk in the different directions, the direction that they hold premium, because dealers look for that premium. They never pay out retail trade. Okay? So, overall gamma is still negative. 5,115 is still how can I say, the inflection point, the downside, because now we have a positive delta at 5,115, but we have negative gamma. So I like to call, we have a divergence, right? Same thing at 5,120. So we have a negative gamma, but we have positive delta flow. So I'm looking for 5,150, same as yesterday, as an inflection point, and could be a viable region. If we break down 5,150, we need to look for 5,009. Okay, 5,009. The plus GX left yesterday was 5,100, same as here. Remember that on Friday, I also put in the market wrap that the setup wasn't to break down 5,100, but they changed because that we review day by day. Okay, so basically the levels still the same. Resistance 5,130 is because we have higher gamma exposure, positive gamma exposure, right? Inflection to the downside, maybe viable region 5,115. If you break down 5,115, we have the minus GX intraday at 5,100. Breaking 5,100, I'm looking for the worst case scenario at 5,009. Exactly the same as yesterday. Okay? Didn't change at all. Bitcoin, guys. Let me bring Bitcoin to the screen. You guys notice that I short Bitcoin at 68K. Bitcoin move 800 above my short entry. So Bitcoin top at 6,849. I'm not saying that Bitcoin is already top. I cannot say that. But Bitcoin has a pattern that I have been monitoring this for since 2019, and all the Bitcoiners didn't realize that. The Bitcoin guys, they have they use Bitcoin as a god, and they are totally blind, and they never understand the Bitcoin movement, especially using intraday graph. Bitcoin could you break the all-time highs and backtest 87 and 110? Yes. I never said that I was bearish in Bitcoin. Since you guys, last year, I told you guys I'm bullish in crypto, I'm bullish in crypto, I'm bullish in crypto. And you guys noticed that I trade a lot Mara. I bought Mara at $8, $16, and I sold Mara at 29, 28, 27, right? So I also protect you guys to not get the drawdown. Yes, in the pre-market, I told you guys I'm closing Mara again at 28 and 70. And I tried to do a trade, and I put a stop. I rebought at 26.99, right? And I closed at 26.70. Basically, I lost 39 cents. I didn't lose money because, I made a lot of money. I just gave back 39 cents to the house. I didn't give back all my gains. Okay? Something that's really important, to highlight to you guys is work with stop. work with stop. Don't be seated praying for the asset to start to move in your direction, because this not works. That's normal to you get stops. That's totally normal. We will not get 100% of accuracy, but our goal is to get higher than 90% of accuracy, and when we are wrong, work with stops. So I already close out my short. So I bought Beach at 784 yesterday, and I closed right now at 8.05. Why? What I look in Bitcoin, especially in intraday, for the accumulation and parabolic movement. Usually Bitcoin, first of all, they close the bullion band intraday, and they try to bring out the EMAs, really, really squeeze it as well. Since we are in a trending mode to the upside, what Bitcoin 60 minutes graph do? Usually, he drops up to the EMA 50, hours EMA 50, and buyers, jump in, bring, Bitcoin back above EMA 20 and EMA 8. Usually, buyers don't allow to see like a bearish enlace between EMA 8 and 20. So they bring it to EMA 50. 50 is this gray line, and enter buy. If you come back, to all the squeezes over here, same, come back test EMA 50. Don't allow, to see the bearish enlace between 8 and 20. Bring back up, bring back down, slow accumulation, close the bullion bands, and going back up. Usually the reverse of the Bitcoin happens in the intraday graph. Okay? If you guys start to see a reject in the middle line of the bullion band, okay, it's not breaking up, and the bullion band starts, to go really squeeze, usually is when Bitcoin reverts. Okay? But so far, it's still in trend. So I closed today because they already backtest 2 times the EMA 50. And the buyers jump in. And they didn't allow the bearish enlace. So let's see what's happening, what Bitcoin backtests the middle line of the bullion band. You guys have a lot of people just follow those guys, Plan B. Fuck, this guy is the dumbest ass that I have been seeing in my fucking life. Sorry for the bad word. Because the graph that they build is inside. It's exactly the same as the 60 minutes graph. Exactly the same. So they build something, they call SF2 or whatever they call, and people, oh, this guy is a god. But do you know why? Because, usually the human beings in general are lazy. A few try to understand what the guys did. A few, start, to study really deep. What is that? You know what I'm saying? And now the Bitcoin lazy eyes is still not even understand, what's the purpose of the cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency doesn't have any purpose. You guys need to love dollar. I love dollar. Anyway, so I already explained, the movement of the Bitcoin. Bitcoin didn't revert. So I just, start to short at 68,000 because, I saw the indicators start to give me like, a sell sign intraday. I already closed in the pre-market by Beach. Okay, I already closed because, as I said, back test twice. I also, highlighted to you guys several times in, let me put the weekly graph, in the closed group. Because, a possibility before having a flush. First of all, a lot of people is leverage, a lot of euphoria. Basically, this is sentimental. So a lot of euphoria. People start to buy, looking for 100K. Since I start to follow crypto, the Bitcoiners drop the target, because before the target was $1 million. Now they drop it to 100K. So even Bitcoin doesn't know where this asset goes. So make me laughing. Because if they consider themselves as a laser eye as smart, they even don't know where these assets could go. They are the totally lost person. They are totally lost. So I just trade the hype and then I get out. I love dollar. So I have been, telling you guys, my expectation according to the graphic pattern is to form at least a cup handle. Double top. Everybody is leveraged, too much euphoria, too much greed. So clean up the market, backtest 52, 48, and then go back up. I told you guys, I already removed, the draw over here. But go back to the closed group, and also Chris, asked a question, and I said, I don't know where we close. I show what I'm looking for, but I don't know how Bitcoin you trade next week, next month, next year. I don't know, especially because we cannot read the flow, right? We cannot read the flow. So what I'm expecting is like a double top. Since last year, I post, let me open the WhatsApp, my computer. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me find, here. Going on here. You guys know that I draw this long time ago. Just review the closed group before forming this candle. So I was looking for that pattern and to see, a drop to clean it up the market. No, that's not, I didn't short yesterday because, I want to short, stop. No, because, usually it's also patterns, a double top pattern, you need to refresh the indicators, and the intraday indicators start to be very, hot, let me use the word hot, asking, for a pullback, and then, I shorted. So it gave me like almost $2,000, right? But I'm looking for a flush before halving. And if you go back to the past, 2020, 2016, we always have a flush before halving. But, the movement of Bitcoin is totally different, at the beginning. If you compare 2016 before halving and 2020, after halving, and 2020 after halving, the movement is totally different. In 2016, the entire 2016 was a crash and then went up, in a healthy way. In 2020, no, it's not. Was a crazy parabolic movement. What this means for me, we are in the end of the cycle. We are in the end of the cycle. I really hope you guys understand that cryptocurrency is in the end of the cycle. Repeat after me, is in an end of the cycle. I'm not telling that the Bitcoin go to zero. I'm not telling that Bitcoin finish, because I don't know. I don't know. But you guys need to understand the ETF means liquidity to big players getting out. You know, cryptocurrency usually is an asset that don't have liquidity. It's an asset that is in hand of 1-2 person, and retail try to to surf the flow, right? Nowadays with the ETFs, the Bitcoin, came to Wall Street. So Wall Street is a devil. Wall Street give now liquidity for big players. Leave. Remember, the SEC could decline the ETF and ask, the companies to do a ETN instead of the ETF. What's the difference of ETN in the ETF? Bitcoiners even doesn't know what this means. ETF, you need to have the asset. ETN, you need to have guarantee that you can buy or sell the asset. You need money. So for the purity of the Bitcoin, for the Bible of Satoshi wrote, SEC is supposed to be declined ETF and ask the dealers to create ETN. You guys understand? So why SEC allow dealers to do ETF? Because they know the system. And they know that big players is holding this. Billions and billions and billions of dollars. Now they have plenty of liquidity to get their ass out and leave to retail. At the end, BlackRock, Grayscale, Fidelity, they doesn't care about you guys. They care about the 5% that you guys pay to them. Okay? So I hope you guys understand why I short Bitcoin. Yes. Well, a lot of people criticizing me, I received messages another day. Fabio, you were wrong about the Bitcoin. I said, wrong about what? Because I shorted 48 and I told you guys that Bitcoin could go back to backtest 8, 4, or even 13. That the levels that I gave doesn't need to go to 4K, doesn't need to go to 8K. But I told you guys, this shit will melt down, this shit will crash, and crash it. I was the only one person that called a crash in Bitcoin. Bitcoin crashed. For those that follow me since 2019, 2020, I told you guys, this Bitcoin will crash. This Bitcoin could backtest 4K, 8K, and people start to blame me. You wrong. You don't understand what you're talking about. Blah blah blah. Bitcoin, you never lose 20K. Blah blah blah. And another day I received a message. See, you were wrong. And I said, I was wrong about what? Bitcoin crashed. Came from 48 to 15. I shorted 48. People that that was in the group with me news that I was the only person that shorted 48K, and I told you guys to be cautious. People didn't listen to me. People still holding the asset, and the asset backtest 15K. I told you guys the worst case scenario is 4K. That's what I said. That's what I said. This was because the graph, I don't look only intraday. I look like quarter, 3, 6 month, annual. That's where I get the clue regarding the movement. Now it's not clear how will be, but the tendency will see accumulation. And I also explain you guys where you're looking for a reverse. 60 minutes graph. Okay, 60 minutes graph. You guys gotcha? So, you guys already know why I short Bitcoin and what I was looking for. Doesn't need to go to 48. I'm putting 48 for, build a bullish pattern, a bullish figure, and also follow the pre-halving pattern to break the all-time highs. Usually this draw is a bullish draw. It's a bullish picture, you know. It's still. But so far, I'm not willing to buy. Ah, Fabio, you missed the pullback went up. Okay, I'm out of the boat. But I already make a lot of money, right? Because I didn't bought it 15, but I bought it 30. I bought the beach at the bottom. You guys know, you guys follow me, right? And I make the money that I was looking for. If you know break and go up to 87, 110, beautiful. I will not participate because I'm looking for this. If your market didn't give me that correction, that's fine. I already profitable. The important is profits put in your pocket. Be careful with greed. Work with stops. Okay, guys. So this is my view about Bitcoin, and I already explained how to look Bitcoin. Okay, how to look Bitcoin. DXY and TNX. The DXY is still trading above the inflection point. I also several times, showed you guys a possibility of head and shoulder. But I'm not liking the current pattern because it's still above the inflection point, and even trying to break down the inflection point to give me a clue that we will backtest the necklace. So the market is overextended this early. Everybody is a big euphoria. Everything's already almost all-time highs. Now the only asset that was really delayed was Bitcoin. I also told you guys Bitcoin's delayed. So now Bitcoin did the movement. So now I prefer to take a breath. I'm not intended to short because dealers do not give this for free. If as you can see, people keep shorting, people keep losing money. So the setup in general is to take premium from the market. Consequently, as a lot of people just went short, they squeeze and then collect all the premium that they have in the table. So I'm not confident so far that the market will sunk 7%. As soon as I see a clue in the book, I'm not looking to short the top. I'm looking to short the reverse. Where is the reverse nowadays? 50-50. As soon as PX starts to trade below 50-50, market will be prepared to give our pullback. And the pullback that I'm looking for the market, sorry to mix the topics, but you guys already saw the Bitcoin, the DXY. The DXY looks like that is an accumulation and not in a distribution because it's trading above the inflection point. Is making me some concerns about the risk assets, right? So for me now is in accumulation. Of course that I could be wrong, right? And especially the DXY dollars is like a very difficult asset stuff because you have like central bank intervention. They can do like a swaps and can sink dollar. But of course, it's a big market. Big players buy a lot, right? As soon as they do swaps, it's opportunity to big players that are bullish in dollar to buy cheaper and bring back up. That's a very tough asset. That's assets for big players. Okay. So regarding the pullback that I'm looking for SP 500. Let me put in the daily graph, and you guys understand. So the targets, the targets that I was looking for is 5,215. This is flagged in my graph already. And I show you guys several times, 5,215. That's my target for the pivot, the target, the 3 months graph, the quarter. Okay? I'm expecting a back test over here, to see a pullback. And I'm looking for the pullback up to 4,818 and maximum 4,778 to give us another buy opportunity to go back up, to break the all-time highs, and etc, etc, etc. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. But as I explained at the beginning of this video, my main concern is this week. Lower implied volatility, a very calm agenda. If you not break 5,150, I will not be comfortable more to open long swings. I will prefer to see a reversal in the book, in the graph, to play negative delta. Remember, market is ad eternal. I don't need to open swing trades every day, every week, every month. I like directional book, directional graph. When I start to see small candles squeeze, like this, and not, a natural movement that was saw in the beginning, right? But became, a lot of gaps up, gaps down, squeeze, and flip-flop in gamma. So no clue what they are doing. So now, looks like they start to distribute and not buy anymore, especially because the DIX is not above 50. Is between 46 and 44. Right? So my interpretation that dealers already start to distribute. And you guys need to understand this is totally overextended. Right? It's totally overextended. Okay? So that's what I'm looking for. So I'm patient. I'm patient because I don't like to lose money. I need to protect my family heritage. I have 2 kids. I need to give the best thing to them. I never overtrade myself. Okay? Guys, I'm finished by now. So we just reviewed the market web. Pay attention to the levels. We could see the same pattern that you have been seeing the last 2 weeks. Yes, bring market back to the negative gamma and then you start a squeeze, right? Because, in the negative gamma, a lot of people just start to be bearish. They start to sell. They start to play negative delta. They start to open hedge. And especially in a lower implied volatility environment, that's easy to dealers collect premium and bring markets back up, forcing negative delta players to buy from them, buy higher, sell cheaper and buy higher. Okay, so just let's review the levels. 5135 resistance per delta, 3340 per orders, 15 inflection for the downside, minus GX 5100, and worst case scenario 5009. Guys, take care.